Ladies and gentlemen, it is 5 o'clock on a Sunday. Welcome back to another episode of Black Law and
5
Legal
o'clock
Lies,
on the dot.
where
I'm in my
we
drop top.
specialize in giving you all of the information that
Who's in the
you
street?
seek just in a roundabout way. My name is Dan, and today we'll be covering the mysterious case of where to follow me
Wait a
online
minute. Time
at
out.
I am Dan on Drugs,
Why do you sound like that?
Twitter, and on Instagram. Because this is the tone that they use when something is mysterious
But you're
or
not.
what went awry.
There's nothing mysterious about you.
Follow
Anyway,
the show,
yes,
all platform at
at
Black Law Podcast.
Podcast. And you can follow me, Just Dan, on Twitter at I Tell Legal Lies.
And lies, she does tell.
I do not. Only my version of the truth. Thank you.
Something interesting this week. Now, I didn't realize that all right, so we know the CARES Act expired, right? The initial one with the additional, how much was it?
$600
in unemployment. So that expired. And then they did this whole song and dance and came up with the second one.
That particular provision expired, and some other protections like rental and eviction protections
Right.
expired.
All that expired. But this is news to me that even while it was still in place, they ran out of fucking money. And so the provision or whatever said we're going to give you an additional $300 on your unemployment.
Well, this was after the fact. This was that executive order,
right,
that Trump put in place to give people the $300
right
on top.
So people was like, well, okay, that's better than nothing. And then when people went to sign up for unemployment, they was like, sorry, we ain't got it.
Well, this was the crazy thing with that one. But let's go back to that that $600. You know how crazy we're talking. We're in December. There are some people who have yet to receive their unemployment. They have applied. They applied months and months and months ago, and they still have not received a dime. They've gotten nothing. Like, I was watching, I think it might have been Headline News. I don't know. One of these news programs, and there's a news reporter, and I want to say it's California, but don't quote me on that one. I cannot remember which state, but wherever she is, they had people who were tweeting her and inboxing her, asking her for help, asking the station for help in getting their benefits. And she started talking to these people and realized that these are people who had applied for unemployment, as I said, months and months ago, and hadn't gotten a call, or had gotten first call, second call, then their applications stalled. You know, so she said she literally was speaking to people, and the station asked them to bring stuff in. And she said this one man brought a whole box full of stuff, set it down in front of her, and literally started crying because, like, we know what's going on. There are people who don't have food, who are relying on food pantries. I mean, there are children out here whose parents are trying to figure out because as we said, the CARES Act, certain protections, they actually ended, but via other emergency orders.
Speaking of single mothers out here too that are struggling, did you know that unfortunately the price of pussy has gone down? It's $20 now instead of $40.
You so stupid.
Pussy is $20 now.
Wait, who's selling for
Well,
$20? Who was selling for $40? Like
general
where you at? You was on
black.
what corner?
Come on, the black community, son.
What corner
See,
are you on?
You are so out of touch with the black community.
That's the going
The
rate.
going rate is $40 for pussy. However, during the pandemic, it's gone down.
All I know is whoever's selling it for $40, they real desperate.
That general consensus in the black community is pussy is $40.
Who have you been consensusing with?
The black community.
The whole black community.
Which is Black Twitter. Black Twitter is the black community. So check your phone, Google $40 pussy.
So and basically the going rate is for, like I said.
Not now it isn't. It's 20 now.
I don't know what chicken heads y'all dealing with, because $40.
All of them.
They underrated.
All of them.
No.
It don't matter who you is. Kim Kardashian, $40.
Whatever. Anyway, so as we said, these protections, they actually ended, but by executive order and other emergency orders, they were put back into place. Well, at the end of this month, those protections are going to end. We have a Congress who is not trying to reach any sort of consensus.
Congress is.
To help. No, they are not. Well, the House of Representatives is. The Senate is not.
Right. That
Mitch
is correct.
McConnell is not trying to do anything. But so saying that, if they do not come up with something, then the extra that these people are getting, or the extra that they're slated to receive for those who have not yet received it, will go away. These protections for evictions will go away. And we're talking 14 million people who could be, we can see being evicted.
Let's talk about that right quick, right? All right. So the rent freeze, basically, right? The eviction moratorium that they put into place.
Mm-hmm.
I'm torn, right? What is your stance on somebody racking up $15,000 worth of rent, and then next year or at whatever point it's like, where my money at?
You have to pay it. Well, you see, here's the thing. From my understanding, one of the provisions in the new package that they're trying to pass helps landlords. They basically, like, Congress wants to basically give them money to help them defer what they lost. So basically, maybe this person owes you 15. I want to give you X to try to help you with the money that you lost because you kept this person in their home. Now, a lot of things though. So let me just. That's
gonna fuck somebody's. This whole thing is going. While I'm thinking about it, is going to fuck somebody's credit up, if not a lot of people, because.
Well, if people if somebody actually sends out information about rental or you not paying the rent, which they can't do right now.
Right.
They cannot. But here's the thing about that whole rental assistance and these moratoriums on evictions. They only apply, we did a show about it.
The government. Yeah.
Right. They only apply to people who are on government assistance and for
government
mortgages. Right.
Yeah.
Government backed mortgages. So if you think about it, say somebody who is on rental assistance. For the most part, you're not paying the majority of your rent, right? Most of them, they calculate what your ability to pay based on your income. So I know people who are living in apartments or houses that rent for, say, $1,500 a month, but their part of that rent is like $100.
Oh shit!
Government
Look, look,
pays
man.
the rest.
I'm gonna keep it real. You know people like that.
I do.
I don't associate myself with broke
You
motherfuckers.
stupid. Anyway, so
I'm just kidding, America. I'm broke too.
I know people who do that. So those landlords who have renters on like Section 8 and housing assistance programs like that, they are getting, the government is still paying them. What they're missing is
That $100 a month.
or whatever the renter is actually paying.
So with that, my thought is, okay, I'm paying what I can. Let me say that. Let's say my rent is $1,000 a month, and yo, I'm a service industry worker, right? And I'm still coming up off of 250 here, 200 there. I'm
right.
anything, but at the end of the year, December 31st rolls around, and I still owe you, let's say $9,000, right? So next year, boom, all of this expires, and you send me out as my landlord. Okay, now I need my 9,000.
Correct.
Fuck a payment plan. Fuck 9,000, or you got to go. So okay, I can't come up with it. I got to go. So
that's
I
what
get
the
my
government
shit.
is trying to prevent.
I get my shit. I move, and then there are the major apartment complexes here in New Orleans. They will report that shit to the credit agencies. So now I went from beginning 2020 with let's say a 750 credit score, and
Not 600. Nah, it's 530.
yeah, my credit is fucked. So now I'm trying to find a new place, and they're running a credit check on me. But because I owe my old landlord, thanks to COVID, it's like this shit is going to fuck a lot of people over.
So once again, there are provisions in this new bill that they're trying to pass to prevent all that. It's like, but once again, all this stuff is contingent on Congress. Like they need to get something done. And the crazy part about it is they're about to recess for the holidays.
I thought they were holding like whatchamacallit, I forget the name of it, but where they can't recess until they pass this shit.
Nope, they can leave. But they're trying, they are trying to keep them there until they reach some sort of agreement. What Bernie Sanders is proposing to do, he wants to, like, there's a stopgap spending bill, right? Like to avoid a government shutdown. But you need 100% of the votes in order to pass it. So
he's trying to hold it hostage.
Basically. So Bernie's like,
go ahead, Bernie.
We gonna shut this mother down.
I like Bernie. So today, what I guess the knowledge that I want to drop with the people, right, is for those of you who did receive unemployment. Unemployment to a lot of people, especially this year, is a new thing. Others, they kind of know how the system works. We see in our line of work, we see a little bit of both. So you'll have people go file for unemployment, and they ask you, do you want to have federal taxes withheld?
Federal, state.
And state, right. Most people
say no.
They say no. And honestly,
I'm sorry for laughing.
When you think about it, it's understandable because I lost my job. I need as much
every
money.
Dime.
Yeah.
Correct.
So being that the additional $600 on top of the state's
$827 altogether is what you would have received if you actually
Louisiana.
were eligible. Right.
So $827 a week, and you tell them to take out zero as far as taxes are concerned. When you file your taxes at the end, next year in 2021, there's a good chance you're going to owe the IRS, correct?
Maybe, maybe not. It all depends on your tax situation, your individual circumstances. So if you are a single person, you have 3 kids, right? Let's use that. So single person, 3 kids.
You would typically get back about $8,000 if you made about, let's say 15,000, right? Okay.
So if you earned, and I'm going to say that I'm emphasizing that word, if you earned meaning if you worked for
and got paid.
15-ish thousand dollars and you had 3 kids who were your dependents, you looking at $7,000 to $8,000 in a tax refund with refundable credits, i.e., earned income credit,
Child tax credit. Wait,
additional child tax credit,
That's right.
and
Hold on, let me guess. Earned income credit, additional child tax credit, and your withholding. Bam! Look at that, son.
Yep. So you're looking, as we said, between 7,000-8,000, right? And I want to again emphasize earned, worked, what you were paid for. Unemployment is not earned income. It is not money that you worked for. It is money that
Supplemental.
your employer puts into a fund for just that situation.
Okay, we're gonna have to take a little left turn right here.
What?
I thought the unemployment was from the state. So
what happens is workers' comp is basically a trust fund, almost like Social Security, right?
wait, what
When-
the hell workers' comp got to do with anything?
Lord, unemployment. I'm sorry. I said, boy,
Don't be fucking up my
Woo!
scams
Yes.
that I got going on. Shit.
So unemployment, like you provide, the employer pays into that, right?
Mm.
You pay X amount of dollars. I'm gonna have to show you some like payroll via payroll. Like you pay whatever you match Social Security. So if your
Right.
employee pays $500, you as an employer, you pay $500. You
Right.
match, right? Well, as far as unemployment is concerned, it's unemployment insurance. Like you as an employer, you pay into that. Right?
Okay.
So, as I said, just for this type of situation, when what happens, like an employee goes into or they file an unemployment claim, unemployment sends you this data sheet to
You
say,
being the employer.
correct,
Okay.
say is this person filed unemployment. Do you want to contest it? The reason why they do that is because you are credited or debited against for the employees that are on unemployment.
Okay, explain that like I'm dumb.
All right, so there, like I said, you pay money into
I got 10 employees.
as an employer. I can't remember the specific percentage, but you pay money.
I'm gonna make it up. So I got 10 employees, right?
Mhm.
And I pay $100. You said it's payroll, right?
Yeah.
So okay, I pay $100 a month per employee for unemployment.
Let
Okay.
me see exactly. Let me tell you in Louisiana.
Okay. And
Keep talking.
while you
keep
do
talking.
that, I got my 10 employees. I'm paying $100 a month in unemployment insurance. 3 of them, they're no longer working with me. So they're $247 a week, which is Louisiana's unemployment, max unemployment. That's coming out of the account. Basically, let's call it my account that's I've been paying into. So what happens when my well runs dry?
So your well shouldn't run dry because, as I said, it's a it's every employer pays a percentage of whatever, and it's like a trust. It's just like I said. So the
I've seen some trust run dry because hey, I'm downsizing. So rather
Right,
than
which is-
having 10 employees, now I only have 1.
So this is what LA Works. That's the our
Unemployment.
yeah, it says if you are a regular taxable employer, you are liable for taxes only on the first 8,500, 7,700, or 7,000 of employees' wages per calendar year, depending on the balance in the Louisiana Unemployment Trust Fund. So it's a
Percentage of the first
so
$8,700.
uh, uh, uh. So you pay. So you actually pay state and federal unemployment tax, right?
Hmm. Okay.
So so basically, as I said, what happens is all of this gets put in a trust and it makes money,
Interest.
but you are right about this fund and being depleted. This COVID situation actually severely depleted the unemployment trust funds of a lot of states. Like after that $600 ran out and Trump actually did his little executive order thing and said this extra 300
And then wanted the states to contribute
to
100.
to pay,
Yeah.
right? So most states were like, we can't opt in because we don't have the money because they have been paying these benefits out for these people. So, anyway, as I said, this is not money that you've earned, it's money that has been set aside for you in the case that you are no longer working through no fault of your own,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, because of that, it is income, but it's not earned income, and it does not help when you calculate earned income credit. So picture this. Say you worked from January to March, which is what most people did, right?
Mm-hmm.
And from January to March, say you made say $6,000,
2,000 a month. Okay.
right? So you made 6 earned, right? That is basically what your earned income credit is going to be based on, the money that you earned. Then you have, ouch, the additional child tax credit. That's also going to be based on your income. And it's based on the number of kids that you have 16 and under, and the amount of money that makes up your global income. So, while most people are used to seeing these $7,000 and $8,000 refund, it's gonna come as a shock to them when they think, okay, I made $15,000-$20,000 when you include unemployment. I made the same amount of money, but my refund is not going to be the same. But my refund is not going to be the same is because part more the vast majority of that money was not money that I earned.
Right.
Right?
So, in saying that, the people that are used to getting these $7,000-$8,000 checks, let's say 75% of their income consisted of unemployment,
Mm-hmm.
they'll be lucky if they get a
3-ish.
tax.
No. So if you let's work this out. So most people got, so let's say you got the max. 827, right?
47.
Yeah. 847. Right? So how many weeks were they eligible for?
Let's just say 30. What's 6 months? 6 months is 26.
20.
So 26 weeks.
6 times 4 is 24.
That too. Both of them. Both of them.
All right. So wait, was it 6 months that
It was
what they were
from
eligible?
March and it expired August 31st, if I'm not mistaken. The
All
initial
right. So
CARES Act.
right. So the 600. So
Right.
5 months. But I thought it expired in June. Anyway, let's say 6. That's for so 847 times 24. Good Lord. That's $20,328.
Okay. So, and that's all unemployment.
All unemployment.
Oh, but
I hope it was 5 months. I think it was 5 months. Let's hope it was 5 months.
and then the January through March, you said
It
we
was
made
$300.
$6,000.
Yep.
So
So 26.
$26,000.
26, 3. So once again, but so say that's about right. That's about what I would have made had I worked. No, I probably made less
a
than
month.
that.
Yeah, you would have
I'd
made less than that.
Because I would have made right at about 15
No, you would
to
have
17.
I mean, going by your example of making 6,000 and
Oh yeah, from
we're
March,
talking 2,000
from January
a
to
month.
March.
That's 24 grand a year.
Yeah. So maybe I wasn't making that because most of the time the people that we see, they make anywhere between 15 and 18.
As far as the highest earned income credit recipients.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, 15 and like 17, depending on how many kids. But we're saying in our scenario it's 3. Right? So yeah. And in that scenario, you're getting about
7,000. Okay.
Right. That's all earned income credit. Plus whatever you paid in federal taxes, you get all that back. Plus the additional child tax credit. That's where your $7,000 to $8,000 come in at, because as far as additional child tax credit, you're talking about last year was upped. So it wasn't just $1,000 a kid. I think it was $1,200 per.
Sounds about right. I was going to say $1,250, but yeah.
Per kid. So, and that's for every kid under the age of 16. Well, right. 16 and under. That's a dependent on your tax return. So yeah, that's where you're 8, sometimes 9.
Okay, but now we're looking at $26,000, which is, let's say, $8,000 than we would have typically made. We didn't have any withholdings, and we still got the same 3 kids. So we're used to seeing those 7,000 to 8,000.
You're looking at 3-ish. I ran the numbers. So I did some scenarios. I ran some numbers because I kept thinking to myself, if these people, like, what's it gonna look like? So I ran that whole, I think I did about 5,000 in earned income credit, and then I did about 14, 15 in unemployment. Ran it with 3 kids. Well, I actually ran it with 2 kids just to see, and it came out earned income credit. You're getting about 3,000 in earned income credit. So if you get additional child tax credit, you're looking quite possibly at half.
So $3,500-ish.
Right.
Now let's take
sticker shock. I got security sticker shock, man.
But let's take the whatchamacallit, the single ladies and gentlemen out here who don't have dependents.
Y'all about to get, now that is that's a situation.
So I'm making, let's say I made the same amount of money, right? $2,000 a month. So I make 24 grand a year. I have my exemptions and all that shit set to where at the end of the year, I might get $50 back when I file my tax return. Boom. Lose my job in March. I go on unemployment, and I make the same amount as the last scenario. I make $26,000, right?
Right.
20 of that is unemployment that
I
I
didn't
didn't
have
have.
federal or state taken
Right.
out of.
So now I'm going to more than likely owe the IRS thousands.
So, you said single, right?
Single, no dependents.
All right. So we're talking, and you said 26, right?
26 and 20 of it's unemployment.
All right. So 26,000 minus 12,500. I think that's what equals. So you're gonna pay taxes on $13,500
Why is that?
because you have you have your standard deduction. Your standard
Okay.
deduction is
Gotcha.
$12,500. Take that from
The
your income, your gross
Right.
income. What your taxable income is $13,500. You're still paying. You are still paying the government because you don't have anything else. So you are by yourself. Say the your rate is about 11%, right?
So you're gonna be looking at about 2666.
1485.
Oh shit, yeah. That too.
1485, and keep in mind that's just federal taxes, because guess what you also didn't do?
State.
You did not take state taxes out in the state. In the state of Louisiana, state income tax
We got like one of the highest.
is higher. We have, and I see this scenario all the time. People get like these astronomical federal tax refunds
And owe the state $500.
Right, and owe the state. It's because in the state of Louisiana, we have a very high income tax percentage, and most people don't pay enough into state taxes. And if you have foregone federal and state taxes, and then you file, and let me tell you right now, not filing a tax return is not an option for you.
They'll file it for you.
Correct. The federal government, and here's the bad part about, and I've said it before, y'all have heard me say it, and I am going to repeat this, especially in this situation, because most people, I have fielded calls already from people asking me if they have to file the unemployment on their tax returns. They think that they don't have to file it.
And again, that goes back to what I said, which is
most people don't have
this
experience.
is new to a lot of people.
Right. They don't think they have to file it. And then they say, well, can I file it in 2022? Problem is you can't. So here's the thing. The IRS is going to know that you received unemployment. They are going to know how much.
That, what was it, a 1099-G that you receive comes from the IRS.
No, it comes from the state of Louisiana.
Right. And the IRS has a copy of it because the state sends them a copy.
Correct. All right. So they have it. They know. And back in the day,
W-2 also.
Correct. Crazy thing is, back in the day, people used to get away with not putting all their income on their tax return. These days, the IRS, and what the IRS would do is they would send the money, and then they would send you a letter saying, hey, you neglected to put some income on your tax return. Now you owe us X, Y, and Z. Most people will laugh. All right, come get it. I already got the money. I'll pay y'all when I pay y'all. Nowadays,
they coming to get it.
Nowadays, they don't even send you.
Oh, your refund.
Your refund.
Okay.
Like, your refund would be trapped. And they will send you a letter saying you neglected to put some of your income on there. Now your refund is being held for 60 days. We have to do the 60-day thing while we investigate X, Y, and Z. Or they'll send you a letter saying, hey, send us your income information, because now we need to know exactly what you think you made as opposed to what we know that you made. Right. So there's this whole new thing that's open. You just opened up a can of worms by not adding all your income.
So with that, you do have to file your unemployment if you received it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're single and you did not have your any taxes withheld, you're fucked.
State and federally.
There was one other thing. It slips my mind now. There was one other thing. Oh, well, one thing you can do, you can file your tax return and not send them a dime for, like, if you owe them, say, $1,400, like we said, and you ain't got it, still send in that tax return.
Yes.
And you don't have to send in a $1,400 check with it, because there's two different things. There's filing a tax return, and then there's paying your tax.
Correct.
So a lot of people get
failure to file penalties.
Failure to file, right? So if you ain't got it, still file it, and then just go from there. And you can also set up payment plans too.
Right there. I mean, there are options. The worst thing you ever want to do is disregard the IRS. And in this COVID environment, I am going to hazard to say that the people at the IRS, they're really ticked off. Let me tell you, I've had some conversations that were
it's because of that stimulus shit.
Look, let me tell you, they are very, very, very angry at the IRS. They were already angry. These days, I said three varies. They're really angry. Like, you get some angry people on the phone because 9 times out of 10, they don't know what the hell is going on. And you expect, them to have all the answers. But I can tell you, as Dan said, file your tax return. Not filing it is not an option. Put all your income on, including that unemployment, because if you do not, you'll wind up in a situation. I have a client right now that, through no fault of her own, neglected to put $39,000+
How through no fault did they get a fucked up W-2?
No, the tax preparer failed to see some information. The client made tips, and the tax preparer failed to notice that, and only put
the
wages on there. So the tips were excluded, and this particular person had made $39,000+ in tips.
Question. When they filed their taxes, right? Did they go to this place on Carrollton Avenue in New Orleans?
Could be.
They're known for that. I wish I could think of the name of that place, but they're known for that shit. And so yeah, they're fucked because
they received a letter from the IRS.
And that's something I think worth sharing here is when you go to these tax tax preparation companies,
right?
Those companies are not necessarily responsible for anything. You're responsible. So like 100%. Ann's client,
because you've signed the tax return, you've signed the tax return saying that you evaluated the tax return and everything on it was true to the best of your knowledge, and you received that money. So
that's
in this particular,
kind of fucked up though, because I'm coming to you, a professional, right? Let's think H&R Block. That's what I think of when I think of these places. You do my taxes, and I'm supposed to look at it and say, yeah, that's right. What the fuck do I need you for then?
Right. And that is very valid. You went to a tax professional because you don't know anything and you expect them to.
Right.
But realize that these tax professionals are people too, and they are prone to mistakes as well. I mean, nobody is perfect. So in this case, this preparer was not perfect. They missed something to the tune that this person, and what's crazy is this person, as I'm talking to her, tells me I kind of knew something wasn't right because I've never gotten a tax refund that big before. But you never stopped. In Domino's, we say all money ain't good money.
Mm-hmm.
But you looked at the $7,000+ that you received and said, "Oh, I just fell into the gravy." Now,
Well, in their defense,
mm,
tax laws change.
mm,
Shit changes. The
mm,
average
mm.
person doesn't keep up with. Again, this is why I'm coming to a professional.
Oh yeah. Oh, like I said, all valid. Now she has a letter though from the IRS that basically says, not only do you owe us what we paid you, you owe us interest and penalties. Plus, because had the return been done right, instead of receiving a refund,
She would have owed.
she would have owed
Okay.
them. So now, on top of what I gave you, now you have to pay what I gave you plus what you owed plus interest and penalties
Man.
to the tune of almost $10,000.
And that's how these H&R Blocks and all of them are like that. You are
Mhm.
responsible. See, in my personal opinion is, well, I have lots of personal opinions. One of them is these companies should be 100% responsible for the tax returns. That if
You need to
they're
lobby your
human,
congressman.
yeah, if they're human and they make a mistake, I get it. But if I make a mistake, I have to pay for that mistake.
Correct.
So if
And
you make a mistake, you should have to pay for that.
100% you need to lobby because what happens in this case is, if you're a reputable company, you will take some liability. So, maybe whatever you charge them, you give back to them.
What, $99 or whatever?
And on top of that, you pay the penalty and the interest, whatever that may be. But the actual money, because you received it, you have to pay it. Something else, I'm always stressing about reading what you're signing. Most of us do not. All of these tax preparation places, they have you sign a client service agreement. And in most of those client service agreements, I would hazard to guess that there is a clause about
if we
liability.
Fuck up, right?
Right?
They call that errors and omissions insurance, which you should have, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a business.
But anyway, so as we said, to recap, file your taxes, file them on time, even if you owe and don't have the money to pay, because you are actually going to suffer more if you don't. Unemployment is fully taxable. Unemployment, let me say this again, is fully taxable, but it is not earned income. So you do not receive earned income credit.
Let's throw the stimulus in here. I mean, I know that it will fall under the same thing as unemployment, but for the people who don't, the stimulus you received, between 12 and however much $100 you got, that is taxable income, but it is not earned income.
No, actually, government is not going to tax you on that.
Interesting.
Yes. So government is not taxing you on the stimulus, but for you people out there that have not received it or were ineligible in tax year 2019 or 2018, when you file your 2020 tax return, you may be eligible. So what the IRS is saying is, if you were ineligible last year, but your income dropped, if you were ineligible because of income limitations, right? And your income dropped.
Mm-hmm.
You file your 2020 tax return, it's still out there. This whole stimulus payment is still on the books. So what will happen is, if you are now eligible, you will receive it
along with your tax refund.
Correct. You will receive it.
And that's another thing too. I mean, actually, we're going to turn this into a series. The next episode is going to be more taxes, but be aware of how much your tax refund is. because I was shocked at how many people don't really know how much
they're
money
taxable.
they're getting. So student loan debt, right? You owe student loans. The IRS will take that money out of your tax refund,
Mhm.
and you might be missing $1,500, and you're
Mhm.
like, some people might be oblivious, and
Mhm.
some people be like, yo, where the fuck is my money at?
Right.
This, that, and the other. So pay attention to how much you're getting back. But next week, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to cover is the coveted, the golden egg. That's what I like to call it. I like to call it the golden egg. And let me tell you, people, you're gonna love this.
Jesus.
If you're smart and you know how to use the tax laws, the Schedule
Oh,
C. Schedule
Jesus.
C. Let
That
me
boy
tell
said
you
the golden egg. Really?
that I paid $700 in taxes last year, and I made $14 million. Schedule C. This has been another episode of Black Law and Legal Lies. Keep up with us on all social media platforms at Black Law Podcast, as well as YouTube. Leave us great reviews, the greatest, the biggest, the bigliest
The
reviews.
bigliest.
Bigliest. My name is Dan. Keep up with me. Twitter, IG at I am Dan on Drugs.
And you can follow me, just Dan, on Twitter at I Tell Legal Lies.
Peace.